Awesome guys, welcome to 3.3 of my Ultimate Facebook Success course. I'm going to go over something really important here, which is the newsfeed algorithm. So the ultimate goal for all business pages is to appear in as many people's news feeds as possible. So Facebook have created a newsfeed algorithm which determines what appears on your newsfeed and in which order it will appear. So when somebody visits their newsfeed, there are on average 1,500 potential stories, or edges as we'll call them from now on, from Facebook friends, events, and pages to be displayed. This is far too many for any one individual to scroll through. 1,500 updates is a lot of updates. The average amount of updates seen is just a little over 40 every time somebody scrolls through their newsfeed. So you have to get your content ranked in this top 40, the higher up the better, in order to be seen by your fan. So therefore, having 1,000 likes does not mean that your updates are going to be seen by 1,000 people. Because of course, it is way too many to read through. So Facebook use their algorithms and decide what is displayed on your newsfeed and of course, your fans' newsfeed. So it's important to understand the goal of algorithms before I break them down for you. The goal of the algorithms have always been to find the content that you want to see the most, or find the content that your fan wants to see the most. So in 2004, Facebook used what they called knobs. So Chris Cox, the Facebook VP of Product, said, in the beginning, newsfeed ranking was just turning knobs. If people said they wanted to see photos a little bit more or videos a little bit more, all they do is turn up the value of the videos or the photos so they'd be seen more on the Facebook pages. Then came 2007 and Facebook employed what they called EdgeRank. EdgeRank is a relatively simple algorithm that remains the basic foundation of what is still used today, so it's super important to understand these three elements. So the first major element is affinity score, which is the connection strength of the relationship between the Facebook user and the Facebook page. So if I like your page, I then have an affinity score or relationship score based on how much Facebook think that I want to see updates from your page. The second factor is weight. So the value of the edge type. So we went through edge types earlier, as in photo, status, video, or photo album. So each edge type was given a weight, and whatever Facebook thought that people wanted to see more of, that's what they displayed more of, and that's what was given a heavier weight. The last factor is time decay. So the time since the edge was created. So the value of the edge will dissipate over time and become weaker. Therefore, the newer an update is, the more people will be likely to see it. So let's break these down quickly individually so we get a comprehensive understanding. So affinity score is a one-way relationship between the fan and the fan page. It demonstrates how strong of a relationship a brand has with that individual fan. Affinity is strengthened by any interaction with a brand. So actions such as viewing your fan page, commenting, liking, sharing your edges, clicking on your page, and even messaging can impact the affinity that I have with your page. So essentially, Facebook have made it so the more time or effort an action takes, the more it'll increase my affinity with your page. So say I comment on your page, it takes more time and effort than simply clicking a like, therefore it'll increase my affinity score by more. So if you're interested, an affinity score is given a number between -1 and 1. So the weight is the value of the edge type. So how valuable is a type of edge, meaning how much do people want to see this type of update in general. Weight is Facebook's value system in order to determine what type of edges want to be seen the most. Each type of edge has a different default weight. For example, images used to have a lot stronger weight than video did because Facebook think and thought images were more liked and valued by users. Facebook are constantly altering the edge weights to reflect what they think the user most likely wants to see and what they're going to engage with the most. Lastly, time decay. This is the simplest of all of the factors. It is simply how long since the edge has been created. Displayed mathematically, it is understood as 1 divided by the time since action. Therefore, the longer ago the action was, the lower the number and the lower the value of the update. This is because Facebook want the newsfeed to always show new and fresh content. Therefore, as an edge ages, it'll become less valuable. So here are the 3 factors put together, and of course the start is the optimal spot you want your edge to be in. So the strongest affinity or relationship with the fan, the shortest amount of time posted ago, and the strongest type of weight for that specific edge, whatever that may be at the point in time that you're posting. However, in 2011, Facebook changed their algorithm. It's no longer a basic 3-factor algorithm, but Facebook have actually replaced EdgeRank with a machine learning based approach that takes into account about 100,000 factors. Yes, that's correct. It's 100,000 factors, which is a lot more than the 3 they initially had. So although affinity, weight, and time decay are still very important, and I've underlined that very because they are basically the foundation of this new algorithm. So it's important that you do understand it. If you didn't quite understand them, please go back and make sure you do have that knowledge. Let's see what else are in the new algorithm. So a few extra considerations. I'll go through a few and then I'll focus on the ones that actually mean something. So the relationship settings, you can manually set strong relationships or acquaintance relationships with friends and pages. So if you want to tell Facebook how close you are with a page, they will show less or more of the updates depending on what you select. There are also now categories and subcategories of affinity. It's not just a one-way relationship score. Individual Facebook users also now have their own weight values depending on how much they've interacted with the edge type in the past. Instead of it being a general weight for everybody in the Facebook community, each person now will get a tailored weight score depending on how much they've interacted with that specific edge. So to put this in an example, if Jimmy likes and comments on photos, Natalie often comments and likes links. Jimmy will obviously have a higher edge weight for photos, where Natalie will have a higher edge weight for links. Pretty straightforward. Here are a couple more crazy ones, which I'll quickly touch on before I move on to the important ones. So the type of device you are using will actually matter to what your newsfeed displays to you. So mobiles will show less videos because they're less optimized for that type of media. So your internet connection speed actually factors in here too. It'll help decide what files should be displayed. So large files will be less likely to be displayed if you have a slower connection. Also, clicking ads and looking at other people's timelines also affect the updates you will see on your newsfeed in the future. So they're all great and they're all very interesting to know, but the 3 changes that actually matter to us as a business page, wanting more engagement from our fans and to be displayed higher up, here are the 3 changes that actually matter that we can take advantage of. The first is global interactions. So here is a segment from a blog post from Facebook stating, the number of likes, shares, and comments a post receives from the world at large and from your friends in particular, will affect if you see this update or not. So Facebook are attempting to measure how close each user is to friends and pages. But the measurement isn't just based on personal interactions. Facebook now looks at global interactions too, and those can outweigh the personal interactions if the signal is strong enough. For example, if you put out an update on your business page, and my affinity is not strong enough to see it immediately in my newsfeed, but I have 3 friends who also like your page who have liked and commented on your new update. I am therefore much more likely to see this new update because Facebook have seen my friends find it valuable and therefore will think I find it valuable. Even more than this, if the users are not my friends, but the global interactions of your fan base as a whole is high, Facebook will see that content as valuable and be more likely to show it to your fans that you have less affinity with. So here's a quote from Facebook. If we show an update to 100 users, but only a couple of them interact with it, we may not show it to you in your newsfeed. But if a lot of people are interacting with it, we might decide to show it to you too. So there are examples of how your newsfeed can be impacted positively by global interactions, but it can also be impacted negatively by users who ignore, hide, or mark the post as spam. Limits the amount of people that update will reach. I've put together a quick diagram to help fully understand this concept because it is very valuable to know. So here is an example Facebook update. So your Facebook page puts out a Facebook update. Facebook decide to show it to 100 people. So this is a sample of fans. So just 100 people in sample data. Based on the interactions that these 100 people give your update, Facebook will analyze these results and either promote or demote your edge. Say if 13 people like your new edge, 13 people is a lot out of 100. So Facebook are most likely to show it to more people. So then they get a new sample data of 200 people because they feel that the edge is valuable, a lot of people interacting with it, and a lot more people deserve to see it. They increase this number. Based on this second sample data, depending on how many people engage, like, comment, and share with it, and even click on it, they will either promote it again to maybe 400 or 500 people, depending on how many people actually interact with it, or they may demote it. If Facebook calculate it to be less valuable than they initially thought, they will demote it and then run a new sample size of the original amount, just to make sure that they're only sending out valuable content to the most people. So I hope that makes sense. Here is a bigger overview of the same theory. Here is 0% of your fans, and here is 100. As your update is tested by the first sample size, it could get demoted and shown to less and less people, or you can get promoted. If you keep getting promoted, you're going to be displayed to more and more people because obviously your update is valuable. And you can reach a maximum of 70, or sometimes in really rare cases, 80% of your fans at once. The more valuable your content, the further it will go. As soon as it starts getting less interaction, you will slip down the ladder, showing to less and less people. So that is global interaction. Number 2 is story bumping. Story bumping bends the decay rules by giving older, unseen posts a second chance at newsfeed visibility if they're still getting interaction. So story bumping literally bends the rules of time decay. So instead of being fully chronological, if somebody posts an 8 a.m. status and it is still getting interaction later in the day, say at 10 a.m., it'll still be ranked higher than some 9 a.m. statuses that are getting less interaction. Because again, Facebook will see this as valuable content and let it be seen by more people. Thirdly, last actor. Last actor considers an individual's 50 most recent Facebook interactions and uses them to help rank posts in an individual's newsfeed. So essentially, a very large amount of weight is given to the last 50 actions of any user. For example, if I have liked your latest Facebook update, that becomes my last action. If I then like my friend's status, that becomes my last action, and your like becomes my second last. So the last 50 actions that I've made in total have a stronger weight on what I will see in my newsfeed. Another thing to note is the strongest weight is given to the last 10 actions, and the weakest weight is given to the first 10 actions. So my 50th to 40th like, still given a lot of weight compared to if you were my 100th. However, it will decrease as I make more actions. So these are the Facebook algorithms to understand, and it's really important to have a comprehensive understanding of this knowledge so that in the next segment, you understand exactly what we're doing to hack and optimize our content to display in as many news feeds possible. Because on average, only 12 to 16% of people see your post in their news feed. We want to triple or even more than triple this number so all of our updates are getting seen by as many people as possible. Let's go and see how that's done.